net worth, we will definitely make sure we increase your self-worth, because your self-worth and net worth are inversely proportional. And I can guarantee you over the next 1 year, I'm going to make a commitment that let's stay connected, let's keep the conversation, and irrespective of what happens, your self-worth is going to go up. So that's my promise. Good with that? Yeah. So humor me for the next 30 minutes, and I'm going to do my best. I'm from India, so I speak a little fast, so you can always slow me down if I do that, or catch me after the break. So what I'm going to go through is, very quickly, I'm going to digest 3 of Deepak's bestseller books, take the wisdom. As an entrepreneur, I'm the CEO of the foundation, obviously focused on mental health and longevity. People are going to live longer, absolutely. How do you make sure you live better? What's the point of living up to 125 if you're financially not wealthy, you don't have purpose, and you don't look great, right? Our goal is to make that happen. Health span versus lifespan. And really, other thing which I want to focus on today is success. What does success mean? So before I get into this particular topic, I want to kind of lead you all through a very experiential experience. I'm going to take you all through a meditation, which you all probably did not think I was going to do a meditation, so let's do it today. So what I want you all to do is very simple. Just relax, wherever you all, just sit down, keep your palms on your lap. Take a few deep breaths, because stress and anxiety, it happens to everybody. What you do is our response, so no need to get stressed. In fact, stress is resistance to existence. When you have no resistance to existence, it is flow, right? So what we want to do over the next few minutes is to put you into a state of flow. So once again, just close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, and just observe your breath. And I use this thing a lot. I say it's SIFT. Observe your sensations, your images, your feelings and thoughts. As you close your eyes, as you sit down in this limitless conference, just observe in your screen of consciousness, as your eyes are closed, sensations, images, feelings, and thoughts. And we're going to set an intention over the next few minutes. And what I want you all to get to know is not your LinkedIn profile, not your WOWA app profile, but your soul profile. And the soul profile is 4 questions. And we're going to ask these 4 questions, and you're going to go and explore deep within you. The first question: who am I? Who am I? Just ask the question. Observe in your screen of consciousness, who am I? Who am I? The second question: what do I want? What do I want? Once again, just ask the question. Let the images, feelings, thoughts, sensations come. Don't try to manipulate it. What do I want? What do I want? The third soul question: what is my purpose? What is my purpose? Why am I here? A spiritual being having a human existence. What is my purpose? Once again, observe your sensations, images, feelings, and thoughts. What is my purpose? And the fourth soul question: what am I grateful for? What am I grateful for? Gratitude is the most important attribute of us. What am I grateful for? And as you kind of go deep into your awareness, asking this 4 soul questions, let's go a little bit more deeper. and probe. Once again, being silent, just witnessing. You can just repeat to yourself in your mind, I am, first name, last name. Like I am Punacha Machaya, I am John Doe, I am Mary Jane. So I am, your first name and last name. Just silently in your mind. I am, your first name and your last name. And when you do that, bring into your awareness everything that's going on in your life right now. The good, the bad, the ugly, everything that's going in your life. I am, first name, last name. Now let go of the last name and just in your mind, just say, I am, first name, I am Punacha, I'm John, I'm Ken. And as you do that, go back into your earliest memories of childhood, running around in the farm in Kansas or a neighborhood in Brooklyn. Your earliest memories with your parents, your grandparents, whoever, just your earliest memories. Bring into your awareness your earliest memories from childhood. I am, first name, and the earliest memories from childhood. Now let go of the first name and just repeat in your mind, I am, I am, I am. Now let go of the I am and just be silent, just stillness. Rumi said, silence is God's language. Everything else is poor translation. Just be in silence. Stillness. The space of infinite possibilities. And in this space of infinite possibilities, collectively, let us set this intention, and I'll just set this intention for us together. Joyful, energetic body. Joyful, energetic body. Loving, compassionate heart. Loving, compassionate heart. Reflective and alert mind. Reflective and alert mind. The last intention, lightness of being. Lightness of being. And in this space, let us set the intention of abundance. Abundance of love, abundance of wealth, abundance of good health. With that, you can slowly open your eyes. And let's get this conversation started. How do you all feel? Relaxed? Good? This too shall pass. This too shall pass, right? So you have in you the amazing superpower to respond however you want to respond. Doesn't matter what happens externally, you have the ability. When I took you to the meditation of I am first name, last name, everything was going on. When you go back to I am first name, guess what? Earliest memories. So who are you? You're changing constantly with every minute. So I think for us, what we forget is that irrespective of what happens, we have the ability to respond to any situation. So hopefully that really is kind of the grounding principle. But also what I did was to take you back to silence, right? I literally ask people every day, entrepreneurs, executives, leaders I work with, anytime you get stressed or something is really kind of rocking your boat, stop. S-T-O-P, stop. S is for stop. T is take a deep breath and smile. O is observe. And P is proceed with awareness. Because you know what, when you actually take a deep breath, we don't breathe enough. Then you actually feel, you know what, this is okay, it's not that bad. Then he proceeds with awareness. So it's really important for us to really operate from that space. The other thing which we talked about, I think, as we're looking at this whole market and financial crisis and things like that, we talk about resilience. And resilience is like a muscle. We can actually build it. And it's called the ABC principle. Do you guys know about the ABC principle and resilience? Okay. So let's say shit hits a fan. All of a sudden you are digging on the gold mine, and the gold mine, all of a sudden you miss the vein. Shit happens. Now you have a response, right? A, I call it the ABC principle. A is an attitude of gratitude. Doesn't matter what happens, a glass half empty or half full. It's a perspective, right? I complained I had no shoes until I saw a man who had no feet. It is a perspective. Always have an attitude of gratitude. B is believe in impermanence. This too shall pass. Even though whatever I'm going through right now is the deepest, darkest winter of my life, there is a spring and summer. I think as entrepreneurs, we have to understand that we have to have impermanence. It will pass, right? And C, always make a conscious choice. And the default choice can always be love. Love is a conscious choice we can all make. And that is one of the pillars I talk about building resilience as an entrepreneur, or as when you look at basically building financial wealth. I've been through it. I'm the guy who bet on Web3. How many people bet on NFTs and Web3? Oh, wow, I'm only a few people. That was me. Because I really believe in democratizing content. I'm like, you know what? We need to kind of bet on this. I believe in blockchain. The market took a beating. Guess what? It will come back up. It's not the end of the world, right? And there's a lot more things which go on in the world. And so really looking at some of these things, adversity happens. The other thing which I want to talk about as we go into the topic is well-being. Because one of the things when you listen to a lot of different things, you are on this journey of life. How many people are stressed or anxious? Okay, it's pretty good group, not that many. Okay, but most people today is life is anxious, life is stressful. So what we prescribe is what we call the 7 pillars of well-being. And this is really trying to keep people away from hospitals, right? If you can practice the 7 pillars of well-being, we can return the body to homeostasis. So what's the point of living up to 85, having $1 billion, but you can't do what you want to do? You're not joyful, you're not having fun. And I've hung out with a lot of people who are billionaires and really not enjoying their wealth. So in the journey of financial freedom, as you kind of build this up, I would like to share the 7 pillars of well-being. The 7 pillars are nourish, eat well, right? Movement, healthy emotions, stress, anxiety, anger. Have some kind of a mind-body practice, whatever that is. It could be going to church, going to a mosque, temple, whatever that is. Sleep, connection with community and nature. Those are what we call the 7 principles of well-being. And that, for us, is what we believe can kind of keep you healthy, wealthy, on your way to kind of your billions, right? So now let's kind of go into the 7 laws of success. And I'm going to dive into this. That's why I want to do the meditation. The first law of success, and this is based on Deepak's #1 selling book, which used by leaders, CEOs all over the world, is the law of pure potentiality. And what I did this meditation is to go into silence, is for us to really spend the time every day to figure out who you are. How do you kind of otherwise get to know who you are, right? So the goal today is to operate in a space from where you are truly stopping, you're observing, you're actually taking care of yourself, and then you're making decisions from this space. And this is really the essence of what we try to do, at least in the Chopra Foundation. We get you to kind of get to a place where you can meditate, find silence throughout the day, find some times in your day when you can stop. Spend some time to meditate and then stop judging. Just observe. The biggest burden we have in life is being right. So if you can just be silent, meditate, and not burden yourself with making judgment, you then basically tap into the space called infinite possibilities. And that is an important aspect of one of the things I want to talk about today, is how do you kind of build this kind of space and actually, for success, there are 3 principles which are guaranteed. You got to be authentic, you got to have integrity, and you got to have higher purpose. That's the law of pure potentiality. The second law we're going to talk about is, change? Okay. The law of giving. And this is something, it's called giving and receiving. And this is something which we practice. Once again, what we have to do is to keep it as part of your daily routine. is you reap what you sow. And this is everything in the universe today, everything in the system we live in is basically transfer, right? If I stop breathing, you'll die. If your blood doesn't flow, you will actually, once again, not circulate. Once again, even when it comes to money, it is the law of giving and receiving, right? You give love, you receive love. You give happiness, you receive happiness. You teach people how to make money, you actually receive money. So I love this conference because a lot of the people over here, it's a given, they're all sharing their ways of how they're going to give. And when you give, you will receive. So actually building every day, looking at what am I giving? What is my superpower? How am I actually sharing it with my community? And this is the law of giving. And when you give, the universe kind of conspires to make you wealthy, make you happy, make you joyful. And once again, you have to build giving into your daily routine. And if you look at any religion, any culture all over the world, giving is a very integral part of their journey. The third law, which is the law of karma. And karma is a word which is used in Eastern wisdom philosophy, but it's called cause and effect. It's basically every action generates an energy. It creates, you reap what you sow, right? If you reap happiness, if you sow happiness, you reap happiness, right? But once again, when do you do this? The most important thing today is people really to understand that every action they do has an equal and opposite reaction. So one of the things I talk about is how do you kind of look at really making happiness, joy, and cultivating joy as part of your daily life. Once again, making cause and effect as part of your daily routine, right? Building it as part of your execution, part of your success strategy. The law of least effort. This is an interesting principle because when you actually are struggling, sometimes when you're actually working through something, a project plan or something, you're like, this is really difficult, this is really tough. The universe actually is effortless, right? If you look at a fish doesn't need to know how to swim. Grass doesn't need to know how to grow. Birds don't need to know how to fly. But if a fish tries to fly and a bird tries to swim, we have a problem, right? So understanding what is your true nature, so it's literally called the law of least effort. Accomplishing everything by doing nothing is to really then understand how are you fine-tuned as a leader, as a person, is to understand your core beliefs. And this is really an important thing about knowing who am I. Right? Who am I really taps into understanding what are some of the things I can do easily. What comes to me at ease, what is easy. The other principle, law number 5, is the law of intention and desire. And this is an interesting thing because we talk about attention, right? That which you put your attention on grows. If you put attention on money, that will grow. If you take away the attention, it's going to disintegrate. Put attention on love, that will grow. If you don't put attention, it'll disintegrate. But for attention to really manifest long term, you need to have intention. And intention is the transformative power or energy which transforms things. So once again, attention and intention go together to really create success long term. The sixth law is law of detachment. And detachment is an important aspect because from our perspective, when you say love without attachment to outcome. It's like going for a job interview and saying, I want to raise the stock to $200. That's really my goal. That's really not a good principle. The goal should be, I am going to do X, Y, and Z things. And by the way, I'm going to do the best I can in that. And the outcome is the outcome. I'm going to detach from the outcome. So if you do things without attachment to the outcome, with intention and attention, but detached, then there is synchronicity. There is magic in the universe, right? There is unpredictability. You're not basically, when you become attached to anything, then you're actually, you're kind of, I would say, suffocating things. You're actually stuck to a model which is never changing. You're conditioned to old paradigms. But the goal of law of detachment is to let infinite possibilities happen to you. So really, from my perspective, it's like blue ocean thinking. So really practicing law of detachment. And the last law is the law of dharma, or the law of purpose. It's like when you said, who am I? I think today in our schooling system or my MBA, my engineering, nobody's ever asked me the question, who am I? Right? Everybody in this room is born, is a spiritual being having a human existence, and there is something you can do better than anyone else in the world, guaranteed, right? You just need to find out what it is. Because you have an ability, if you probe deep enough, you will find that superpower in you. Once you find that superpower, the next thing you need to do is to basically figure out who needs it, who is my community, who is my Sangha, is it good for humanity? Let it go. And the universe conspires to make it happen. So these are the 7 laws, what we have called is the law of success, right? If you incorporate these 7 laws into your life every day and work on it, then there's synchronicity in your life. So next thing we're going to talk about is trust. Because this is an interesting thing for me right now because, okay, Punaj, you told me all of these things, but do I really trust you? But today we're also working in a gig economy, right? There are people working for you from all over the world. You're buying buildings, or real estate from different parts of the country, looking at Google Maps. And if you ask people, how do you trust people? And this is something we call the trust index. And I'm going to share that with you, right? So, first of all, you said, why do you trust Ken McElroy? Do you guys trust Ken? Okay, good. I trust him with my life. So people trust me. This is actually a formula I'm going to share with you guys. People trust people who are transparent. On a scale of 10, is Ken transparent? I'm just using Ken as an example, right? He'll say, no, 8, Ken is transparent. People trust people who make and keep their commitments and promises. So as you go into life, and as you look at this, you are saying, what? On a scale of 1 to 10, do I make my promises and keep my commitments? Or does your team make your promises and keep your commitments? The third most important thing, people trust people who have expertise. You cannot go to a gynecologist for heart surgery, or if you're looking for somebody who's really good in real estate, you need to have expertise. People trust lovers who have expertise, personal and professionally. Expertise is a very important lever which you need to build into trust. And the fourth important aspect, people trust people who delegate. You know what? Go ahead and do it. I got your back. Honey, it's okay. Go try it out. I got your back. So if you look at these 4 principles, are you transparent? Are you keeping your promises? Do you have expertise and do you delegate? And you come up with the number, and I multiply it by what I call the we factor, the team, and divide by what I call the me factor, the ego, right? And this is, once again, when you're looking at building teams, when looking at building successful business operations, the number one thing, if you have to change to make the business successful, is to build trust. And over the years, we have found out that trust is the only thing, the only one thing you want to make a change in your business or your personal life, trust. And today, we have a trust crisis. People don't trust God, people don't trust nation states, people don't trust their CEOs, people don't trust parents. And you have a kid who trusts their friend in school, posts something on Instagram, on social media. Before it used to be only their classroom kind of figure this out. Now the whole world comes to figure it out, and then that's what we have, suicide, right? So the reason I'm very particular about trust, especially when you look at building financial freedom, freedom in life, is to really make trust a core part of your operating system. Another thing which I want to talk about is love. How many people are in love? Yeah, I love something good. So one of the things I find today, when you are looking at building teams and building organizations globally, and really also even whatever it is to make love the operating system, make love the fabric, right? It sounds kind of like woo-woo, but it's not, right? I came to this country in '91, and what was amazing was that there was intimacy. There were communities. I went to Kansas State. I could just go hang out. I could go to a barbecue in the community center. Today, where is community? Communities have gone, right? Where is intimacy? So when you look at love as the operating system, and you're actually building out, as part of your portfolio, I'm going to share 4 A's, and this is a formula. I'm an engineer, so everything works in formulas for me. The first A is attention, right? Deep listening. Listen with your body, mind, soul. Today when you go into a meeting or you meet somebody in a party, they say hi, and they look at somebody else, right? Or at the dinner meeting, they're on their phone. Or even in a whatever conversation, there are 2 lovers speaking, they're still distracted. Attention, deep listening. Once you have attention, the next A is appreciation. You appreciate each and every one's uniqueness. You know, like I said, we are all spiritual beings having human existence. If you don't have attention, how will you have appreciation, right? Why do relationships fail? They have no attention, and because they have no attention, they have absolutely no idea what to appreciate, right? And the third most A is affection, love, kindness, tenderness, compassion, right? As business leaders, kindness is a virtue. Your words are a vibration. Tread lightly, right? So I really believe that, I always said if I were to build an app, and if you guys want to invest in my app, it's going to be called Tender, the opposite of Tinder, right? So that's going to be a new app. But kindness as a virtue, when did we stop being kind? That's an important attribute, really cultivating the third A, which is affection. And the last A, which is the hardest A to practice, acceptance. Accept yourself first. It's hard to change yourself. Don't try to change anybody else. Just accept. Acceptance, I realized in my life, I had flow in my life when I stopped being right. Every time I wanted to be right, I figured somebody else was wrong. I'm like, just accept. Just stop being right. Because everybody has a perspective. Let's just respect the perspective. Let's move on, right? So those are some of the things when I think about, and what I'm trying to share with you all today is a bunch of tools we have incorporated. So it's very hard for me to put everything into a 30-minute conversation, but I'm going to try to do that. The second thing which I talk about is leadership. And this is something we talk about a lot today. We said we have a leadership crisis. I don't understand that because I believe the US being the most powerful country in the world, we have amazing people who come out of this system. Why are we having a leadership crisis? But I think there's a perspective I would like to look at. When you look at leadership today, it's typically we kind of comes from the military, right? It comes from Sun Tzu and the Art of War, China, Chanakya, from the Roman Byzantine Empire. And we look at military, the word strategy, it's SWOT, strength, weakness, opportunities, threats, right? Why not co-create? Why not shared economy? Why does somebody have to lose for somebody else to win? Why do you have to take a piece of the pie? Why not increase the pie? So I think there's a way for us to move from this mindset of scarcity consciousness to abundance consciousness, right? So let's not look at the world as scarce. There's enough in the world for every man's need except for one man's greed. There is no problem with food. The problem is distribution of food. There is no problem. The challenge is allocation. The challenge is greed. That's when I talk about the feminine archetype. It's because it is the archetype of sharing, the shared economy, right? We don't have to go back and screw a business just because we need to be in that business. So let's look at the world differently. And this is something I want to kind of lead because this is what I work with business leaders on. And the acronym is called LEADERS, L-E-A-D-E-R-S. In the interest of time, I'm going to go through it very quickly. L is very simple. Look and listen, right? People do not look, definitely don't listen, right? We have to tune in to really connect with everybody. So one of the things, as a leader, L, very easy to understand, look and listen. And like I said, listen without judging, listen with feeling. And once you feel something, don't feel you have to say something. Incubate. Let it process, right? We have this need to be action-reaction. We have the biggest prefrontal cortex in the animal kingdom. Why don't we just stop and process without having to react? Somebody shows the middle finger, somebody pulls out a gun, right? We don't need to. We'll just relax, just wait, Anyway, the second E is emotional bonding. We have to connect emotionally. In one of the largest studies done at Google, they found the most important thing, what defined a project which was successful, is psychological safety. When they actually went into work and they felt the manager actually understood them, they felt emotionally bonded. So it's not about when I check into an office, I was told that when I first joined, I was a sprint, check your emotions at the door. Don't bring it into work. How has that really happened today? We're on Zoom calls at all times of the night. Be emotionally bonded, right? Leaders need to be emotionally bonded. A is awareness. And this is my whole question on soul profile. Who am I? If you don't know who you are, how does a team know who you are? So have awareness. D, is doing, right? It's very nice to say, you know what, this is my strategy, but people respect people, people trust people who have expertise, who also are involved in the business. I love that about Elon Musk, right? Elon Musk is somebody who does, right? Doesn't matter what people talk about. His personal life is not my problem, right? What he has done as an entrepreneur, bar none, nobody could do. When he was alone with his brother, they lived in the office together, they shared a laptop. For the largest time, he slept in his office most of the time. He is a doer. Leaders should do, not preach, right? E is empower. Empowerment is what I said about trust. Delegate. You know what, do it, I got your back. You might fail, but that's okay, I'm here for you. That increases trust exponentially versus saying, I don't think you got it, let me see, maybe 5 more years, maybe after that I'll kind of let you do your job. R is responsibility. Take action for who you are. Stop making excuses, because the most important thing is taking ownership. And when you do the first 6 things, what happens is synchronicity. The universe conspires. And I'm a big believer in the universe. It's not because, I'm kind of being woo-woo about this. It is energy, right? We're all energy. When we come into a space, we bring a certain energy into the space. If you have this ECG, there's EEG. Why don't we believe that we're also having collective consciousness in this group? So that's leaders for you. So what I want to leave you all with is just a thought. And I think this thought is something I wanted to I was thinking of the theme of this conference. It's a very different conference I go to. I'm very grateful to Ken. I see Chuck here is a good friend of mine from Utah. I was thinking, what would I say? Because people are going to say, Poonacha, you're speaking about well-being, you're speaking about resilience, but also we need to make money, which I'm all about, because I believe there's nobody who said you have to suffer. That's a human story, because animals are all about flow. What I want to leave you all with is this message: how to be in this world, but not of this world. And this is, it's called the principles of being a spiritual warrior, right? Because when you're in this world, you have to be a warrior, right? Metaphorically speaking. So how do you be in this world and not of this world? So this is kind of the mantra. Be ruthless in achieving your goals. Be ruthless in achieving your goals, but always be kind, right? Kindness is a virtue. So you got to ruthless. You got to run a business. You got to do whatever you're doing. You got your goals. You have targets. Be ruthless, but be kind. Be cunning in achieving your goals. I'm using the word be cunning, but never be cruel, right? Yeah, you know what? You can't go show your mining maps to somebody, or you can't go back and say, this is my blueprint of my business plan, let me open source it. Guess what? Somebody's going to be copying it down the road, and yeah, be cunning, but never be cruel, right? That's different. Be patient in achieving your goals, right? But never be negligent. Be patient, but never negligent. And the last one, be sweet, but never be foolish. This is the way to be in this world, to achieve your goals, have abundance, lead, and also have joy in your life, the only measure of success. Thank you.
That's right. Go ahead and stand up.
Thank you.
Give it up for Poonacha one more time with some energy.